Hi, I am Avinash Rana, the most senior advocate in Bombay High Court.
Perfect. I couldn't have asked for more. That's the best.
On this episode, we explore the pages of our nation's history and the stories of India's judiciary through the impeccable memory of senior advocate Avinash J. Rana. With more than 70 years at the bar, and till today, he's still showing up to court with the same energy and passion as ever, undeterred by the fact that he's 98 years old. At an age when most would have long hung up their boots, he's still at the crease. And with every passing day, it feels ever more likely that he will score his century with his boots still on. So, Avinash, good morning.
Good morning to you, Janak.
And I'll start off by asking you that your name Avinash means indestructible. And since you've already completed 98 years and you're now in your 99th year, you're living up to your name. But I believe there's a story behind how you were named Avinash. Would you like to share it with us?
I was born in Baroda on 22nd July 1927. Soon after my birth, on very day, Vishwamitri river was in spate. Whole of Baroda was covered by the river's water. And there were crocodiles also. For 3 days, nobody could contact nobody. So no milk, no vegetable, no cooking. Even if you want the matchbox, you have to shout at the adjoining bungalow and they will tie it to a string, throw it with a stone and you will get it. That's how. And after 3 days, the water subsided. No harm was caused to anybody. So my mother's father named me Avinash. That's how my name came.
Now, Avinash, as you know, we fondly refer to you in our chambers as Kaka. So if I slip into calling you Kaka, I hope you don't mind.
Certainly not.
Thank you.
I'm used to being addressed to that way.
So as a young boy, when you were in Rajkot in 1939, I believe you witnessed Mahatma Gandhi come there and took part in, he was at that time on a hunger strike. You have recollections of that time in 1939?
Well, Rajkot is divided into two parts. One is a part of the native state, which was ruled by Thakker Sahib of Rajkot. The other was part of the British government. It is known as agency. And agent to the Governor General would be always in the agency part. Gandhiji came in 1939 to Rajkot and he had certain demands against the state, Thakur Sahib. And it did not click. So he decided to go on fast unto death. Now, the Diwan of Rajkot was absolutely without any feelings. He said, Gandhiji wants to die here? Very good. Let him die. I will have a samadhi when he dies and it will be a source of income for the state. Vallabhbhai realized that this man means it what he says. So he came and the AGG also, Gibson, did not want Gandhiji to die. So they managed to persuade Gandhiji. Gandhiji ended his fast and Vallabhbhai took him away to Ahmedabad. But 9 days when he was in fast, 4 boys were selected by Debarbai, who later on became the Chief Minister of Saurashtra, to attend on Gandhiji. I was one of those 4 boys. And we were massaging him all the time because there was burning sensation. Then the towels and napkins soaked in cologne water we'll put on Gandhiji's head, and that's how 9 days were spent. But he was in real agony, and 1 or 2 days more and he would have died.
Oh. So you personally attended to Gandhiji
for
in
9 days. And in Saurashtra, nobody addresses nobody as tu, always Tame. So he would address me as Avinash Tame. Now I would address him as Bapu.
How old were you at that time?
I was 12.
12 years old. And yet he called you Tame.
Because even the smallest child, you don't address him as tu.
So I believe in the same year, Jinnah also came there and delivered a speech. Do you have any recollection of that? Can you tell us more about it?
Jinnah came in 37, 38 and 39.
Oh, I see.
37 and 38, he was a pure nationalist Muslim. In Alfred High School compound, he would be addressing, and I was hardly 5 feet away from him. And I was profoundly impressed by the man. And 39, when he came, he was spitting sheer venom against the Hindus and Congress particularly. Only about Tilak and Madhav Govind Ranade and Gopal Krishna Gokhale, for only 3 persons he had tremendous respect. Gandhiji, he hated him. Nehru also, he hated them. And he believes that it is Nehru who forced him to demand for Pakistan.
Did you hear Jinnah speak? Did you get a chance to witness his oratory when...
He was good, very good.
Yes, you did.
Impressed, quite impressed. But he spoke in Gujarati only.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
An interesting episode in your life where I believe you met Subhash Chandra Bose. Can you tell us something about that?
In Haripura, which is almost part of Surat, there was a Congress meeting where elections were to be held.
Which year was that?
It was in 1937. Then I saw Subhash Chandra Bose, young boy, chubby face, white cap. And I fell for him, this fellow. And then I heard that he is contesting for the presidentship and Gandhiji did not want him. Yet in the face of Gandhiji, he was elected.
Oh.
And he became the president of them. Then, of course, Gandhiji and all made his life miserable, so he left. And unfortunately, he went to Germany and then to Japan.
Oh, I see. So your father was, I think, at one time the Chief Justice of the State High Court, Kutch State. And your uncle was the first person to be designated as senior from that.
From whole Kathiawar.
From Kathiawar, which later became Saurashtra, I believe. So you're steeped, your family was steeped in the legal profession. Is that how you ultimately decided to do law?
Frankly speaking, that is partially true. But when we were in Rajkot, Sir Chimanlal Settleward, Munshi, Y.B. Rege's in-laws were staying in Rajkot.
Oh.
So, and G.N. Joshi, who was always with Chimanlal, they would come every now and then to Rajkot. And Judicial Commissioner's Court was there. So all the top lawyers, they would come and argue before him. And Chimanlal and Munshi, that close contact with us, and so also Y.B. Rege. And they would tell us all sorts of stories about so many lawyers in the past. And I thought that I must become a lawyer, and my lifetime ambition was to become a High Court judge.
So how did you ultimately transition, or what motivated you to migrate from Rajkot to Bombay?
See, I knew Nathwani, Narendra Bhai Nathwani, who became a High Court judge here for some time. He was from Junagadh, actually Keshod under Junagadh. So, and we knew him very well. So when I expressed my desire to go to Bombay, Nathwani suggested that you join Praful Bhagwati. So when I went to Bombay, Bhagwati had become a judge of Gujarat High Court. So now what to do? Then one Jayanti Shah was a chartered accountant, was our family friend. And he happened to be Kharseji Baba's chartered accountant. So he requested Kharseji. Kharseji agreed on one condition, that I will not come to the chamber. I will sit in the library, brief the briefs also library, and leave it there. His peon will collect it. So one brief, and I heard him talking in the conferences, how to prepare a note, synopsis, that facts and law, don't mix it up. So one brief he gave me to work on. So I prepared the notes, synopsis, facts, law, everything. So there was a conference in the chamber at 5:30. He had told me not to attend the conference. So 5:30, that Viva came to me and asked me that Baba is calling you. So I went there. Court કેટલા વાગે બંધ થાય છે? What time the court closes? I said, 4:45. So, તમે હજામત કરતા હતા 5:30? Now you can't tell him that you have told me not to come to the chamber. So I participated in the chamber and he liked it. So next day again he called me. તમે ઉપર શું કરો છો? So come. So from next day, then I started going every day to the chamber because he wanted me. Fourth day he asked me, where do you keep your jacket? I said, in the library. If somebody takes it away, then I will not be able to attend the court because I can't afford another jacket. So I will sit in the chamber or in the library. Our closet છે માટે છે. You bring it. So I started. So I became part of the chamber. There was Fali, there was Soli, then Jangu Khambata, perfect gentleman like your dad.
So, Kaka, tell me, you've spoken about Fali and Soli, but as you know, both of us being in that sense from what we call chamber number 1, Sir Jamsetji Kanga was the one who actually is credited with chamber number 1. Is that correct?
Yeah. It was a very large chamber and he never wanted air conditioner. Kharseji wanted, so part of that chamber was carved out for Kharseji, which was air conditioned.
I met Sir Jamsetji Kanga for the first time. I was a child and my father was a junior of Mr. Kola, who happened to be also Sir Jamsetji's one of his juniors and most successful juniors. So I remember the gentleman, Sir Jamsetji Kanga, you described 6 feet tall with that Parsi pagri or turban as you call it, sitting in that corner in chamber number 1. And he used to make me sit on his lap and would recite nursery rhymes to me in English and Gujarati. So I have a very distinct memory of Sir Jamsetji in that corner.
But when I joined, first it was Kharseji chamber. Then Jamsetji chamber, apart from Jamsetji and Marzban Mistri, was very, very encouraging us, all the juniors. Nawal Gamadia and your dad. Your dad and Jangu Khambata were the only two perfect gentlemen. But both of them very competent in their work. But although he was with Kola, he used to sit in Jamsetji's chamber. And Jangu Dubash also was there. So,
but Khambata then joined Glaxo, isn't it?
Glaxo, but he remained part of the chamber every day, every now and then. And in every party, Friday evening, he would be there in the party. Fali left Bombay in 1973 for Delhi when he was appointed Additional Solicitor General. Soli remained in Bombay till 1977 when Janata Party formed the government. He was made the Additional Solicitor General.
Oh, I see. At that time you were with Soli?
I was with Soli right from the beginning, from 68.
From 68, is it? But would you not say that chamber number 1 was the most envied chamber of council?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Would you say it's because Sir Jamsetji Kanga had some of the most successful juniors we
They
have ever
became
seen?
successful because of Sir
Sir
Jamsetji
Jamsetji
Kanga.
Kanga, where you?
Jamsetji Kanga joined the bar in 1903, Phulabai in 1905. And they both acted as brothers only.
Oh, I
Every evening they would go to Monjin and have 2 pegs and go home and work out 50 briefs or read up
Between them.
between them. Jamsetji Kanga was given a chamber in the main building of the High Court, ground floor. And so also 2, 3 others, including Jinnah, they were given. Coltman also was given a chamber there. And when High Court needed all this chamber, all these people were asked to vacate their chamber. And Chagla had a tremendous respect for
Sir Jamsetji.
Jamsetji. So he asked Jamsetji, what will you do? I will sit home and work. I don't intend to get any chamber. He was most upset, Chagla. So PWD building, Annexe, they were constructing, so they said, no, construct 1 floor. So they constructed a 1 floor containing 16 chambers. And that only for the sake of Jamsetji,
that chamber was
that was
allotted.
given to Jamsetji.
Very interesting. But you mentioned earlier that you continued to be part of chamber number 1 and how...
Because every day I would be with them only, because we were part of the whole thing.
And that's also one of the things I learned from chamber number 1, thanks to people like Avinash, Iqbal, Bommy, Fali himself, who was part of chamber number 1, that when you played, and when you worked, you worked.
Right.
And that was one lesson that I've learned and I've stood by, because during, whether it was lunchtime, a half an hour or 45-minute break during lunch, or the half an hour break for tea in the evening, we would be having a laugh riot, because the rule in the chambers was that you never had any shop talk. In that time, you could talk about anything, render anybody's reputation apart, but not talk about
Law of
work.
libel and defamation did not apply.
Libel and defamation and slander did not apply. And we had a lovely time in chambers, thanks to, of course, Avinash also joining us. But I met Avinash for the first time when I was an intern at Kanga and Company, and I had to deliver a brief to Avinash for a case for opinion. So I was sent a brief. In those days, briefs used to be pre-marked. What is called, the fee would be indicated on the docket, the green cover that goes with the brief. So the brief was pre-marked to 600 rupees, which is 40 guineas in those days. And I was pretty young, and in those days 600 rupees was a king's ransom, I can tell you that. I saw that figure and I said, wow, this must be a real big daddy in the profession. And the partner in Kanga Company told me, give it to Mr. Avinash Rana, who was a junior of Soli Sorabjee. So when I went to Soli's chamber, as he said, it was chamber number 8, there was nobody there except this bald gentleman who seemed to be sitting where Soli would be seated. And I knocked on the door, he looked up, and I said, I'm looking for Mr. Avinash Rana. So he said, what is it? I said, there is a brief for him. So he looked at the brief, he said, okay, leave it here. And I told myself, if you mark a brief 600 rupees and send it openly, anybody would be tempted to take it and say, leave it here. I didn't know that was Avinash Rana, but I can tell you, in 2 days, he produced the most crisp and clear written opinion that I have seen. So that was my very first interaction with you, Avinash. You probably don't remember, but that was the time that I met you first. So coming back to your time with Soli and his chambers, what is your most memorable, about Soli? What is it that stands out, if you were to go back in
Soli had a phenomenal memory. He had a tremendous depth in him about the constitutional law. And I don't think anybody could be compared to Soli so far as constitutional law is neither Nani nor Fali.
Oh, I see.
But Fali in the field of the company law and all, the general civil law, he was way ahead of Soli. But in constitutional law, Soli was the best. But Soli was boyish looking, curly hair and young and big name. So we had a hearing before the customs collector. Then it was known as collector, now commissioner. C.T.A. Pillai was a brilliant officer. He became a member of the indirect taxes. So when we went for the hearing, he called us in, but he would talk about whether would not allow Soli to start. So Soli lost his patience. He said, may I begin? Are you not waiting? For whom? Mr. Soli Sorabjee, your father? My father, I am Soli Sorabjee. My father was never a lawyer and he died 15 years back. So he laughed and laughed and laughed. And he liked Soli so much that he instructed the joint secretary of the law ministry that in every customs matter in the High Court, Soli Sorabjee must be briefed.
Oh. So tell me, Avinash, prior to 56, where was the Supreme Court?
I went for the first time in 54. That time the Supreme Court was sitting in Parliament House in a portion which was known as Prince's Chamber, in the Supreme Court which was sitting there. I went there and it's a very funny incident which I must narrate. That one South Indian lawyer whose jacket and the gown had become greenish, and I think jacket or gown, there was a patch also. He was wearing chappals full of patches. Oh. His turban also slightly torn. And he greeted me, so I thought he was just like those police court lawyers who are briefless and you give them tea or something, they feel happy. So lunchtime was nearing, so I invited him for lunch and he readily agreed. And we had a hearty lunch. It's a subsidized lunch. Superb meal in the Parliament House and throwaway price. So we both of us had a hearty lunch. Then came up and I also went to court number 1. S.R. Das was the Chief Justice. And this man also, the turban man. Then his matter was called out. And he started arguing. And the Chief Justice would say, pardon me for the interruption, pardon me for the interruption. But then who is this man whom I thought was briefless? So I asked Raji Debar, who was a government agent. They were known as agents. Purush Mehta also was government agent. So I asked Debar Bhai, Raji Bhai, who is this man? You do not know. He is Vishwanath Shastri. He was such a great lawyer that you brief him in the heaviest matter at 10:15 and the matter is at 10:30. Whether in income tax, civil, criminal or constitutional, he can argue.
Brilliant. So, you appeared in many landmark cases yourself. One of them, of course, was the bank nationalization case where you appeared with Nani. Can you tell us something about that and your memories of that case and working with Nani?
I will tell you. Nani had challenged the ordinance only. And then it was converted into act, which he had not challenged. So he was given time to challenge the act, replace it. So, because he was so busy, he could not do it. And then only 2 days were left. So he approached Soli, that will you please help? I can't, but Avinash has prepared a very good draft because Jangu had told me to, we'll challenge it, Prof. Gagrar Company. So I prepared. So it was lying. So Nani rang me up at night, 9:15 at night. Avinash, you have got, can you bring your draft with and come right now? So I went to his place about 9:30, 9:45. He read the whole thing And he said, do you mind if I put my name as the person who has settled it? Okay, it will be a matter of great honor. So, okay, you do it. But okay, we will delete the reference to Gopalan because I had said that it requires to be reconsidered and overruled. That was the first case before the Supreme Court when the Supreme Court was constituted. Year 1950, Supreme Court, page 27.
No, I see.
And they acknowledge also. He said, we'll delete because from 1950 it has been followed and refollowed, extended to property also. So I said, no. Then remove my name as the draftsman.
Oh, I see.
Why? Because Nambiar was at the Delhi airport, I was also there. And he used to come to Bombay and I was always with him in Volta's matter. So he knew me very well. So he told me at the Delhi airport that Patanjali Shastri, who was then the Chief Justice, told Nambiar that Nambiar, your submissions were right in Gopalan and my judgment was wrong.
Oh, I see.
But I was taken in by his submission. Motilal was there, so he pointed out. So I said that in what way it was wrongly decided, but his plane was, the departure was announced, so he went away. So whatever occurred to me, the thought, I put it that for reasons A, B and C. So we'll keep it. And when he touched Gopalan's case, everyone in the court was absolutely tense and we knew that it is going to be overruled.
You also had experience of appearing with H.M. Sirvai. Could you tell us something about that?
See, so far as Nani is concerned,
and his,
so far as Nani is concerned, his familiarity with case law was very negligible. But once you give him a case, the way he would analyze, nobody else can do it. So according to me, where all the top lawyers ended, Nani began.
Oh.
But in sheer advocacy, our Daftari, Chandra was far ahead. But so far as Hormati Sirvai is concerned, he phenomenal knowledge. He knew each and every case, whether it is English or the American or the Australian or the New Zealand or even continental. So in judges transfer case, there were 7 judges quite knowledgeable. Then Tarkunde was himself a petitioner, so he was also there. Then Soli was there, Katu Cooper was there, Jangu Gagrat was there, I was also there. And Lal Narayan Sinha, Attorney General. Then Parasharan was the Solicitor General. And our Mrudul. Everybody quite knowledgeable and we knew so many cases. But we could not take Sirvai by surprise in respect of any single case. So one of the judges, Venkataramaya, he received the All England report that day only, and where the case which was reported was directly relevant for us. So he told all his brother judges that we'll today take him by surprise. So they came to the court, and soon after the hearing started, Venkataramaya said, Mr. Sirvai, suppose that your lordship has got this case in mind?
Oh.
And Bhagwati laughed at the discomfiture of his brother judge and at the brilliance of Hormati Sirvai. It's absolutely brilliant.
So talking about your own role in the profession where you helped or you assisted in the Shri Krishna Commission, you were special counsel. And I believe it went on for almost 5 or 6 years. Is that correct?
No, 3 years.
3 years.
Yes.
And but there was a very interesting incident that happened during that time where 2 judges of the US Supreme Court happened to be in Bombay.
Mrs. Justice Ruth Ginsburg and Scalia. They came to India and they attended the High Court. And our Pense was the acting chief of full-fledged Chief Justice. So he told me that you take them around to all the courts, bring them to my court also. So in their hand, there was a inquiry report prepared by Justice Daud and Justice Suresh in respect of the same riots. So they said, why are you holding this new inquiry? This is because that was no inquiry. These two judges met a few Muslims, not all, and whatever they accepted. They did not approach any policemen nor any Hindus, and on the basis they had prepared this report. Oh, I see. And this is the official commission appointed by the state government, and it's a sitting judge, and I'm the chief counsel for her. So they came, and police commissioner was under cross-examination. Adik Shirorkar and Muchala, they were grilling him. This is real democracy, both the judges said. And this is true justice also. See, the judge does not interfere and allow them to cross-examine. The police commissioner is being grilled this way. This is real. We don't want to go to any other court. You will have to go to Pence's court at least. Otherwise, he will kill me. He will withdraw my son. So we went there, and within 5 minutes they wanted to leave. I said, no, sit for another 5 minutes. After 10 minutes, they again came, and they prayed. Now the story does not end here.
Oh.
Every year I go to United States, and every year I would go to Washington, D.C. Shashi's friend had an apartment in Watergate Mansion. And this Ginsburg also was staying in that apartment. There was a documentary on her, and although she was in advanced stage of cancer and she was dying, she was attending the court just to thwart the efforts of Trump to have a Republican judge.
Oh.
So she was attending the court. And this documentary was a regular film. It was running in full houses. So I saw and I liked it immensely. When I came to know that the judge is living in the same building where I was there, I said, she won't see anybody. I said, you please let her know that the advocate who took them around in the riot commission. She let me in for about 30 seconds. I said, I have seen your documentary, wonderful, and I admire you. God bless you, and get well soon. 30 seconds hardly. But that was my cherished memory.
So, Kaka, going beyond the law, you've authored 3 books. One of them, the Bombay High Court, A Chronicle of Judges and Lawyers, 1947 to 2013.
I will tell you about that book.
Yes.
That on my birthday, we were celebrating in Bombay Gymkhana. Dhananjay Chandrachud asked Yash, my son, and Shashi that how does he spend his time. So they say he writes Sai Baba's name. Then he came to me. Instead of writing Sai Baba, why don't you write the history of Bombay High Court?
Oh, I see.
After 15 minutes, again he came. I was not joking. I sincerely believe that. I said, well, Soli, Fali, all these people, they don't have the time. You have got time and you will be able to do justice.
And your memory, of course.
Then our Mohit Bhai Shah, the Chief Justice, came to my place. I said, don't come to my place because there is no elevator. You have to climb 3 stairs. If you can come three times a day, you come down and up. So why can't you? I can also come at least once. And he came to our place and he formally asked me to write the history. At cricket ground also you tell us so many stories, so you write. So I wrote this story. They liked it very much.
Miscellaneous Law is the other book you've written. And this, I believe, was released by Rohinton Nariman. What was the inspiration behind this book?
I always sit during the lunch hour in room number 36 because all those cricketers of the past, Suresh Gupte all the people, they sit there.
On the appellate side.
Yeah, so we talk about so I would tell them stories about all these people. So they say that Bhulabhai, nobody knew that he was a lawyer. Jamsetji Kanga, we know very little. There are so many other lawyers you talk about. Why don't you write a book? So I said, this is good idea. So I started writing. Then I sent it to our chamber people. Okay, it reads very well. So, okay, all right. Then I wrote, and Bhulabhai Desai also wrote, because Jamsetji Kanga was always telling me that Tamara Gandhi mara bhula na mari naikho.
Oh,
He was telling me.
Why would he say that?
So I did not know, but when I wrote this book, I realized that Jamsetji Kanga, what he was saying was true.
So is it true, Kaka, that Bhulabhai never made any notes, however heavy the brief?
He was making notes, but in verity saw him and he asked him, Bhula, what are you doing? Try make it. He tore without his permission. Trust your memory. Bhulabhai took him so seriously that he never made any notes.
After that.
So
the third book
and he argued in INA trial for 4 days without even opening the ribbon of the book. Of his brief.
Fantastic. The third book I was going to ask you about is about your spiritual guru. Can you tell us about your spiritual guru, Satya Sai Baba?
See, whatever I am in the profession or in life, it's all due to his compassion. I was fortunate enough to have very saintly parents. We did not get any monetary wealth, but values, yes. First is that Daiva Priti, Papa Priti, Sangha Niti, that love your God, not God-fearing, because if you are God-fearing, you will run away. Papa Priti, be afraid of the sin. And Sangha-niti, observe morality in the society. If you follow this, then one more thing is there is no act from Upanishad, no act more meritorious than to help others, no act more heinous than to harm others. Satya Sai Baba puts it in the form of a slogan. He said, help ever, hurt never. But the rider that he has added, I would appeal all of you to adopt and implement. The rider is, even if we cannot help anyone at any time, if all of us will resolve not to hurt anyone at any time, this world will be a much better place to live in.
That's a noble thought, and let me share with you. I have known Kaka ever since I joined the profession, maybe a few years before that. He is a living embodiment of whatever he has just told us should be the philosophy in our lives. And I believe, Kaka, you get up every day early in the morning to do this Prabhat Feras. Can you tell us?
That is on Thursday.
On Thursday.
Formerly we were doing it on 4 days.
4 days
but now
a week.
only on Thursday morning, we start from Marine Drive on the D Road. We walk up to CCI.
CCI, okay.
And then come back. So, singing the bhajans.
So, what is the object of this exercise? What is
to, you see, early in the morning, the violent vibrations are still dormant. We start at 5:15 and at 6 o'clock.
Oh.
So, if you recite and send positive vibrations in the atmosphere, at least there would be some peace.
So, coming now to your cricketing journey.
Yeah. First thing I must tell you about, in 1935, Jack Ryder, the great Australian captain, he had come with his team. They came to Rajkot. And in both the innings, he was out for a duck. And who was the person who took his wicket? Hari Mali.
Oh.
Great off spinner. And it in Rajkot, in Gujarat, it is said that Utna 18 ka, Haribhai na 19. The cricket parts. Because he then one man short, the other leg also one short, one. And when he was so poor that people's rejected neckties, he would use it as a belt. And when everybody was enjoying their drinks, he would be taking out Amritanjan balm and apply. So, that I saw him in 1935. In 1948, when I was playing for my state, one man in dirty dhoti, khadi, and dirty kurta, and rubber tire, motor car rubber tires, slippers he was wearing, and Gandhiji type of spectacles. One spectacle there were cracks also. Oh. And he was saying, "Tama અહીંયા ટપ્પા નાખો, you pitch it here." I thought, who is this man? Then when I went to bat, ego. I was opening for the opening batsman. So I said, "Would you like to bowl?" First ball, clean ball. Second ball, clean ball. Third ball, clean. I could not make any sense. Such spine spin. Who are you? Hari Mali. Hari bhai, deck rider. શું કરો છો? I am a gardener in famous Moti Bagh, which was close by, earning 2 rupees salary.
Oh my God.
That was the condition of such a great bowler.
Kaka, you had told us a very interesting story about Durb Singh Ji and Jesse Owens.
Then I happened to meet this one, our Bapu, Dulip Singh Ji. I said, "Bapu, how to invite this man?"
You wanted to invite Jesse Owens.
So he said, "Write a letter to President Truman." We, like idiots, we wrote. No acknowledgement also. Forget the response. Then Eisenhower, again we wrote. Either due to our request or for any reason, Jesse Owens came as his goodwill ambassador. My brother also, I called him from Junagadh. So at my request, he allowed my brother to be photographed with him, and which appeared in Free Press Journal. So it is not Ipsy Dixit. His photo appeared in Free Press Journal. Then I happened to ask him that, how did you feel when Hitler refused to shake hands with you? I don't care, but I felt hurt, humiliated, insulted when my own president, President Roosevelt, refused to shake hands with me on the ground that I was a bloody nigger. Oh. That was it exactly.
Oh my God.
There were banquets arranged for him, but if Roosevelt were there, he was not allowed to attend. They were all, 4 of them, that to eat in the kitchen. And if the white chef objected, they would eat in the passages.
Oh my God. So finally, Kaka, I mean, you have so many stories to tell. I think this interview could go on for, I don't know how long. I would like to end by asking you, what is the advice you would like to give the younger generation of lawyers?
I can't do anything better than quote an American author of yesteryears, Orison Swett Marden. He said, "Downright hard work and persistent endeavor are the only legal tender that success recognizes."
Thank you so much, Kaka. That's a wonderful...
Only thing is, this book, the lawyers, they are concrete example of hard work and honesty.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
In fact, I feel honored that one of the finest lawyers in India and a top-class senior advocate has interviewed me.
That's very, very kind of you, Kaka. I mean, it's my privilege and my honor to be with you today.